Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Stephanie's Stamp Pad, where we get together and we create a card together. Here is the basic step-up card that we are creating today. It says best friend ever. Isn't it adorable? I love the colors and it is just a so much fun card. Now, we're going to use a couple different products. One of them is the basic step-up. This is number 660023. And then we're also going to use a couple scallop circles in the scallop circle flip it. And we're going to use the t-shirt dies and the t-shirt to stamp set. And I think that is it. I think that's mostly pretty much everything that we have on here. We're going to have so much fun creating this card. Oh, we're also using the hello die too. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to die cut our card base. Now the easiest way to trim your paper is just to use a cutting pad and trim it. That's how easy it is. Now I'll save this for another project or maybe even for this project. And I'm gonna grab my die cutting machine. Now these dies, you can use the Big Shot, the Big Kick, the Vagabond, the Big Shot Plus, the Big Shot Pro, and most competitors' dies will work in here as well. I'm gonna lay that down and I'm gonna skew it ever so slightly. Remember, we never wanna go through our machine perfectly straight because that would create a speed bump situation and our rollers might jump over the blade. We're gonna run that through. Now this is gonna cut and score it for me at the same time. There we go. We're gonna pop that out and we're gonna put that off to the side. Then we're gonna get the layering die that comes in the kit. Cut out your layering die as well. So I've already gotten that cut out. And then there's a couple steps that we're gonna cut out as well. And I have those cut as well. So we're gonna just grab that one there and grab that one. Oh, let's see. I think let's put it together first. Let's get our adhesive. Blah, 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 blah. We're gonna add adhesive to that. Now this is the front of the card. So we're gonna lay that down right there and you'll notice you have pink all the way around it. Now we're gonna fold it. Now to fold a step-up card, you fold all the step-up cards the same way. You're gonna see that there's one score line here and a whole bunch of score lines over here. Ignore the whole bunch over here for now. We're just simply going to fold it on that center spot and we're gonna ignore the steps, ignore them, line up our corners right here. Okay, so now we have half folded and half looks like a mess, right? Now what we're gonna do is we are going to accordion fold, or some people know it as mountain and valley fold it, the steps. We're gonna start with a mountain, so we want our mountain, then we're doing our valley down here, and I just finger press it at first, then I go back and you can use a bone folder to really fold it. Mountain, then another valley, and then another mountain. And there is our step-up card. So I'm gonna give that a nice press. All my valleys are near the bottom and my mountains are up high. Look at that, isn't that fantastic? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start decorating. We can add our little stair steps. So I have our two little pieces here. And the reason why I waited to know where to put my little layering pieces is to make sure that I was in the right spot. So we're gonna pull those out and we're going to add adhesive to those. Oops, got a little extra dye there. And we're gonna add adhesive to that one and drop that one right there. And we have adhesive on this one and we'll drop that one right there. Awesome, now we have our cute little steps. Now let's die cut, we're gonna die cut quite a few things. Hello, I think is already done for me, which is fantastic. But we also need to, I want you to see how I die cut the hi word, because I'm gonna use Sizzix adhesive on the back of my cardstock. If I don't, I have some black cardstock here and I save all my scraps that have the adhesive. If I don't use adhesive on the back, then I have to add adhesive and then it kind of like can get messy. So we're just gonna drop that down right there. And my, my high shadow is in white and I have room right there on that one. And let's see what else we can die cut right now. Ooh, let's do the hanger in gray. So let's grab that. And again, I'm gonna use Sizzix adhesive on the back, and this one it doesn't have any adhesive, so I'm gonna peel off the back. And because my paper is smaller than my adhesive sheet, I'm gonna do something a little tricky. Watch this. Well, first of all, let's get that out of the way. We don't want adhesive on that on accident. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay this down right there on the sheet. And I'm gonna put my carrier sheet on top, and then I'm gonna trim it. Now, The reason why I'm keeping this sheet nice and clean is because I don't want to waste any of my adhesive sheet. So I can still use this for another project, but this has adhesive on the back now, so it's ready to go. So I'm going to lay that down, and I do need 2 hangers cut, so we're going to cut one and then we'll cut another. Lay that down as well, and let's see what else I can die cut right now. Ooh, we can die cut, well, I already have my circles die cut, but those circles came out of the, the circle flip it. Okay, so let's get started. So I have that, I think we're ready to go. Let's run that through. Now I am only die cutting a few items out of there, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use a smaller cutting pad on top. I'm gonna run that through. And then, I have my cute little hanger die cut ready to go. I have my high shadow done, and I have my word high. Now this also, as I mentioned, does have the adhesive on the back now. So I'm just gonna peel this off and add it to the shadow, and I love this word high, it's so fun. So I'm gonna add that. Easy peasy. And then I have my cute little dot, and I gotta be a little careful with that because it's a little smaller. So we're gonna add that, right, like that, perfect. And let's see, now we are going to, whoops, our hanger there. We have our hanger here. Let's add our Best Friend Forever. So we stamped the Best Friend Forever from our stamp set, which is on our other stamp set, nice. Best Friend Ever. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to doodle on this, and this is always fun. You just get to play, but I'm also gonna fold it just ever so slightly because I'm going to wrap that around the hanger. And I folded it a little crooked, so I'm just gonna trim a little, nobody will ever know. And then I'm going to doodle. And when you doodle, you can just get started, got a piece of paper. You can use any pen you want. I'm just gonna go around the edges like this, just to add, there's no wrong way or right way to do this. It just adds a little extra definition. And you can use any pen, and then add a little couple squigglies here and there, a couple little dots if you want. Just to add a little bit of extra oomph, I always say. Now, because this has a little fold in it, we're going to fold it over our hanger, but let's take the adhesive off first. So let's take the adhesive off, and then we're gonna fold this over. This is so cute. It almost looks like a little towel on a hanger. We're gonna drop that on there. Oh, and there's no adhesive on the back of this. Dummy. Okay, so we're gonna fold that, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of adhesive to the back of this to keep it down. There we go. Now, let's add this to our card. It's a little crooked. Add that to our card right there. That looks ever so cute. Now, we're gonna add ribbon to that in just a minute, and we're gonna add some little adhesive. But we have our little high. Let's get our little pink circle that we've already die cut. And here, again, we can add a little bit of doodling. The doodling just adds a little extra, I'm telling you, you'd be surprised at before and afters on this, especially when you're done putting it all together. Now this is just a gel pen that I found. I told Ken, grab a gray pen. It's just easier that way. And let's add a little bit of adhesive to this. We're gonna add that to our high. And that is gonna go on our second step. There we go. Then we want to stamp our shirt. So I'm gonna get some paper here. Ugh. And we're gonna stamp our shirt. Now this is a brand new stamp set because I could not find my current stamp set that I already used. Ah, you gotta love that smell, I'm telling you. It's one of my favorite smells. Now, here is a tip, because I'm gonna die cut this, and this has a hole cut out of it. Now, if I were to put this on my block, there's a chance that I might accidentally put it, I might pretend I'm really skinny, which would be pretty cool if I looked like that. But it's not gonna fit my die because that would be a mess. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my shadow die, I'm gonna lay it face down on my table or on my secret weapon, either one's fine. Then I'm gonna take my stamp and lay it face down inside my die. And that's gonna create the shape that I want it to be. So I kind of just, you see how I just moved it around just to make sure it would find its own natural shape. I'm gonna lay that die over it and I'm gonna go, yep, that's right. Now I'm gonna take my block. Remember, the die and the stamp are face down. I'm gonna lay my block on top, lift up. Now it's in the perfect position. I did not have a chance to put it on crooked because the die was the form. Now I'm ready to go. Now, of course, you want to stamp first and then die cut. And I'm going to grab, let's see, I think we used, let's see, what color is that? That looks like aqua or ocean. Let's grab ocean. Ocean and sea glass are very close in color, so it'll work. And let's pop this open. We're so professional at the Stamps of Life. And we're gonna ink this baby. Now, I always say this, the first time you ink, you always, first, second, and maybe even third, you always wanna stamp on scratch paper because it's, you're conditioning your stamp. You don't need to use wax. I mean, some people use, no, you're never gonna use on my stamps, right? You're never gonna use sandpaper, oh my word, or an eraser. You're just gonna stamp a couple times on scratch paper. That's all you have to do. Every image that you stamp is gonna get better and better. Okay, that's the honest truth. So now I've stamped that a few times. So now I'm gonna ink it for real. And I'm going to stamp onto my cardstock. I'm gonna stamp it right there. Perfect, and I am using my secret weapon on the larger stamps. You definitely wanna use your secret weapon. And then we're gonna die cut this. So I'm gonna lay that down. I'm gonna get my die that I just used to make this the right size. I'm gonna line that up. Now, if I wanted to, I could also instead use the smaller die. And the smaller die is just about the same size, but I wanna use the larger die. So I'm gonna lay that right there, and I'm gonna run that through the machine. So now I have my cute little t-shirt, and we are gonna add the word hello to it, and this has already been cut out for me, so I'll just add adhesive to it. But you will soon see very quickly that I prefer to have the adhesive on the back because it makes life so much easier. Okay, so we'll add the hello to the back. And the hello is also a die from the Stamps of Life. So we're gonna add that. And then on my sample, I have cute little flowers in powdered sugar. So we're going to grab that, and we're gonna grab the powdered sugar. See, when I put things away, it's so much easier, because look, cha-ching, right there, boom, done, right? But sometimes it just doesn't happen. So we're gonna add a couple little flowers right there just for fun on the sleeve. Just to add a little extra embellishment. And let's see what else we have here. We're almost done. We're gonna add our little hanger to this. Where'd my little hanger go? Oh, I only cut one, so I have to use this one. So we're gonna add our little hanger. We're gonna add just a little bit of adhesive to it. So you would cut two at home, unless you have a helper at your house to die cut it for you. So we're gonna add that there. And then let's see what else we're going with. Oh, we have some little white embellishments and some little extra yummies. So we're gonna open this up. Oh, it's stuck. Ugh. Sometimes I fight with those things. Okay, so let's add a little white embellishment here, just for kicks. And be careful, that white pigment ink is very wet still. Pigment ink takes a long time to dry. So if you want to, you can take a little bit off just by doing that. And that's gonna make it dry faster also. So we're gonna add that to the bottom. And then let's see, we're also gonna add our high. So you're going to die cut a little green scallop circle and add the word high, which is ever so cute, just like that. And we're gonna add that to the bottom here. We're gonna add our t-shirt. Now you're only gonna add adhesive to the bottom of your t-shirt, because if you added it to the top, your card would stay closed. You don't want that. And then we're simply gonna add our little ribbon. And we're gonna have it, let's see, let's do it right like this. Tie our little bow. Don't go anywhere. Bows are kind of hard when you have the dots because you want to make sure that the arms of the bow are the same. And then we're going to trim it just like that. But just for added fun, we're going to take the top part of the hanger and have it look like it's hanging on that ribbon, which makes it even cuter. There we go. Isn't that adorable? So much fun. Best friend ever, ever. Hello, hello, hello. I love it. Isn't that fun? Now, make sure you check out next week. Every Wednesday, we release another Stephanie stamp pad, and we have fun, and we create a card together. Thanks so much, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.